Hey everyone, we are here at the Pure Funding headquarters with the Two Hats and a Microphone podcast, and we have special guest Lyndsie Montgomery from Downtown Weatherford Inc. Excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. She's got a very unique, I would call it a unique role and position within our community. I think it's a pretty cool operation that you run, and you get to see a lot of things happening and then a lot of things growing. So we're going to talk to her about all the good stuff that's coming to Weatherford, the stuff that's already here, and learn more about Downtown Weatherford Inc. and what they're doing. Give us a little background on yourself first, though.
So I've been married to my high school sweetheart, Daniel Montgomery, for 19 years.
You know Daniel.
We have a 12-year-old and a 4-year-old. For our 15th anniversary, we decided to have a baby, so that was exciting.
That's a good prize.
Led right into a pandemic. And,
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's what we did.
How did you get involved with Downtown Weatherford Inc.?
I was the director of development for Center of Hope.
Okay.
And I had a lot of really great relationships within the community. And so Ken Davis, who founded Downtown Weatherford Inc., which ended up being the board chair of the organization, he said, hey, we're having some issues getting lighting in these storefronts downtown. Do you know most of the guys and gals? Can you come help us with that? And I said, yeah, I can look at it and try.
Yeah.
I need a little more information, but sure.
Yeah.
And I've never quit since.
That's funny
Got
how that
sucked
works.
right in. We still don't have the right lighting in some of the storefronts, but it's a work in progress.
There's kind of a area that you all focus on. What's that area?
So initially we started out on everything that's touching the square.
Okay.
Immediately around the courthouse. Touching
Just the four.
square. Just
The four sides. Yep.
So we started there and then just kind of organically grew, I'm going to say a little bit north and a little bit south and a little bit east and west. And so we are now all the way to the railroad tracks.
Okay.
And working our way to Santa Fe. But we will encompass eventually at some point the entire central business district.
Okay.
So that's our main focus.
So they go just past the churches
Yes.
on the south side, and just past the churches on the west side
We just to City Hall.
to City
It
Hall.
kind of it's a little bit of an interesting area there.
Yeah.
But
Do you go to Sheps? You said to Santa Fe. That's only one more block.
that is only one more block.
Okay.
We've not made our way past Sheps though.
Okay.
We've talked with the museum and
Yeah.
those folks there.
Yeah.
But not the gas station.
Yeah. Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
But Annabellum's our friends too, so
Right.
we've kind of
Yeah.
Work
And
all the way
behind
down
down to Annabellum
Yes.
and over. What about the farm? The patch over there. What is that? The farmers.
farmers market.
market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in the
Yeah.
area too.
Okay. They're in.
Great
Okay.
relationship.
Yeah. They're great.
What is your? So I went to the meeting on the Peach Festival, which was very interesting. The support that in the everything's got an acronym. So Downtown Weatherford Inc. is referred to as DWINK as well. So
It's better than DWI.
yeah, there was a lot of logistical conversations, operational conversations. The city planner was there. There was a lot of conversations going on. And if you haven't been in the area, there's been some construction, some facelifting going on to the roads. So talk about that's the interesting part, the services and what you provide to these owners.
So one thing that we focused on last year was connecting all of the pieces and parts and being the central hub for communication.
Okay.
So that really helped establishing that central line of communication between the city and the merchants.
Okay.
And so when it came to construction on York Avenue, that impacted roughly 30 merchants. And so instead of them having to call, anybody and everybody from the city and figure out which extension and all the things, we established a direct point of contact. And so if something went wrong, or for example, yesterday there were generators right by storefronts and it kind of impacted sales and it wasn't exactly, amazing. So they literally sent me a text. I text, the person in charge of the project basically, and I'm sure it'll be addressed today. Maybe rain did the deal, but either way.
That's a huge benefit.
Huge service.
These businesses, the questions they're trying to, make money obviously.
Absolutely.
And you're doing a heck of a job to allow them to not only uplift the area. The city's doing that part of it, right? But also keep them in business, which is a slippery slope. If our streets were all tore up, we wouldn't know. I wouldn't know where to call Paul.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, exactly.
Like, dude,
Absolutely.
What do
do
we
I say?
do?
Certainly, and construction's been very impactful
Yeah.
Oh,
to
yeah.
all of their sales, of course. And so we've worked really closely. The city's done a great job of making sure that everyone had access, that different parking levels were communicated. Just, really working hand in hand to make sure that it's as pleasurable, like as decent of a process and experience as possible.
Did the city help out those businesses in any other way, or
No.
no? Okay. I didn't know if there was
Just new concrete.
new concrete, new concrete,
Massive beautification project.
massive beautification. Yes, it's pleasant to walk down there, especially where it's finished.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's the next area that's going to get that type of activity uplift, I should say?
The 3 quadrants that have been done were the southeast, the northeast, and now the northwest. I think the city will take a couple years, make sure that that was worth the investment and the ROI is there. The southwest, with the expansion and the project with the Eggleston King Davis building, they've already got a pretty new concrete, and the majority of the sidewalk is newer than, especially on North Main and York Avenue was.
Yeah.
And so I think that they'll, kind of take a pause and evaluate how long of a process they need, to go with that southwest quadrant and when.
How long does that usually take them to pull the trigger on getting the project started?
It's a very, very long research process. And so I think that I don't have a specific answer. I think each one has taken a little bit less time because they figured out what they can do in-house, what they want to do in-house, what needs to be outsourced, and they've budgeted accordingly.
Yeah, so you've got the city obviously involved, then you got TxDOT, right? Which is the state level. So there's a lot of moving parts there.
There's a lot of moving parts. If someone wants to do construction on a property that's on North Main, for example, they have to contact the city and get a city permit, but then there's a whole other level of TxDOT, just even to repair a roof. So that's a little bit of logistics and different levels.
With your organization, would you say it's heavily focused on economic development, or is it more support of current development or current operations? Like where do you see, like, what's the percentage of current operation versus new stuff coming in? And
So we created a tagline last year, and it's 4 words: revitalize, restore, connect, and explore. Everything that we do, we can point to at least one of those words. There's obviously heavy revitalization right now, which is also restoring, and we've worked to connect all the pieces and parts, because not only do we have to make sure that we're communicating on behalf of the city for certain projects, etc., but then we have to connect with the merchants, the property owners, and the general public. And so we've really focused on our social media presence and made sure that that was up to par, and we've exceeded all of our expectations and goals on that. Everything kind of points to those 4 words. Right now, with York Avenue being such a focus, that's for sure the focus. We do have some initiative projects in the works. We've partnered with the City of Weatherford and the Chamber of Commerce. And so with that partnership, we're going to introduce a Downtown Weatherford gift card program that will keep all of those dollars local. And if somebody's coming into town and they're staying at an Airbnb, and they can go get one gift card and go everywhere downtown. So that's going to be one of our main focuses as we work into the summer and fall. And then just making sure that we're going to have a huge party on York Avenue once this is really, really finished. Those 2 pieces are kind of our main focus really right now.
Peach Festival, is this going to be like the first full test run for York Avenue once the completion has been done, or
It will be.
So it's going to be done before Peach Festival?
Substantially complete, yes.
Substantially
For sure.
complete.
There might be some punch list items that the general public will have. It won't be obvious that it is not
That's
done,
awesome.
if you will.
Because I was thinking the last time I was over there, it was looking...
It looks great.
It looks great. Like it's almost done.
It is.
There's not buckles in the asphalt anymore. I mean, you actually have a road. I mean, there's some big steps over here. Big steps happening.
It is.
Yeah,
And
it's
people
awesome.
are just now kind of starting to actually go one way. It was real entertaining.
They changed the flow. I haven't been over there since then.
It's just one way. But if you go in, and for the majority in the morning, people kind of pay attention to the signs. But you can tell after that lunch break and that 3 p.m., they're like, oh, well, I'm here, might as well park.
Might as well
on the
park.
wrong side of the road in the wrong direction. But
I
it's,
might
it'll
have
be all
done
right.
that on the northeast corner, going from our old office to
Yes.
Fire Oak.
You for
I'm not
sure
gonna-
never caught me going backwards on that road.
Yeah, I'm not going to incriminate
To
myself.
learn.
Parking is always a hot button in Weatherford, right? So for businesses, and it's got to be tricky because I mean we've looked at some things in the area, and you were a big help with that. And parking was definitely a tricky thing to navigate. It seemed so. The York project helped substantially over there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All that parking space. I mean, there's 2 city blocks of parking almost, right?
Yeah.
Is there any thoughts of like a parking structure, like to go kind of elevate to add more?
Certainly. Sure. I think that probably within the next 5 years, you'll probably see some sort of a structure happening, or at least substantial planning moving towards that way.
Yeah.
There was a parking study that was completed, and so they agreed that you don't have an issue now, but if you don't start looking towards some solutions,
Right.
you will have a problem.
Which quadrant would they put it in? The northwest?
Oh, I better not say.
Southwest. Just going to
The
say.
southwest with Ironworks and
And-
Whistle Hill
and-
and Zeno's and the Eggleston
and-
King building.
And Eggleston King building. Man, that parking lot, every time I'm like, roll the dice. Do I get something today?
There's not a lot of available land in that
No,
area.
there isn't. There
Yeah.
really isn't.
That would be the tough part over there. Yeah.
The church has been incredibly helpful, and
Yeah, that's
so all the
true.
city staff park there.
I look at that one parking area over on York. That seems like
That
the
makes
space would be
It's
pretty
already there.
advantageous for that, and give you some room to kind of stretch out and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
If someone had told me that I would spend the amount of time talking about parking and trash that I do, I would have just laughed. But it's
No, I would say
we
that's
spend a lot of time talking
2
about
huge
parking
things for
and trash.
that. Listen, what is something that's fun that's coming up? We already did Sundance on the Square.
Sunset on the square. yes.
Sunset on the Square.
It's
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, easy for
People did dance, so there is
there was
a
some
dancing
dancing
component.
in that one quadrant.
Wine and Whiskey Walk is for sure coming up
Yep.
next. That's kind of a fan favorite. Everyone
It's a
really loves
great
that.
one.
Everyone loves Sunset on the Square, and everyone loves the Wine and Whiskey Walk too.
What's the date on one?
October 5th,
Okay.
first weekend in October this year.
So
was
talk
a lot of
talk about that more, is for the folks that may not have
Sure.
really understand what that.
So it's wine, whiskey, food, and live music all day.
Okay.
And depending on the situation with grapes and the weather between now and October, we love to throw in a grape stomp. It's only happened a couple times. Just a couple years it was excruciatingly hot, and so it didn't really work out very well. But a grape stomp is really, really exciting. We have a man cave where you can find all things men oriented.
Yeah. I watched the A&M game there last year.
Yeah. We try to streamline football if possible. We have a she shed
Yes.
for all things for the ladies.
Yeah.
So you can get
Little
a lot of shopping
boutique.
done. Yeah.
All the
Artisan,
boutique.
handcrafted
Yeah.
goods, and whiskey smokers, and cutting boards, and permanent jewelry, and hat bars. And it's all the up and coming stuff.
Is it going to have the same layout as last year?
It will have the same layout.
It was a good one.
It was a good one. It allows us the ability to kind of control the alcohol and ticket sales, and that has to be a fenced off area because of TABC and
Right.
all the fun things that we've previously mentioned. And so it's the most controllable area.
What kind of feedback do you get from the business owners downtown, and like the more retail, I guess, and maybe restaurants and that? I mean, are they supportive of that? Is that something that they look forward to as far as their businesses and opportunities for them to, do more business?
Yeah, absolutely. We have that event. In the past, we've also tried to pair it with something else. And so last year we had pickleball and Retro Fest on the side of York Avenue, and just kind of encouraged folks to go on both sides of the street. I'm not sure how that will work out this year. We probably won't do Retro Fest, but we will have either a sip and shop or something to kind of target that retail area in the brand new street.
Right.
What we have been doing specifically for retail and York Avenue and the markets are the second Saturday markets in downtown. And so in May we did a Mother's Day market.
Okay.
And in June we're not calling it a market. My husband was like, "Men don't market."
Yeah, that's right.
And all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, you were absolutely not wrong. How about an extravaganza or a bash?" So
Yeah.
we're having a Father's Day extravaganza.
When's that? Next
Father's Day?
Saturday, June 8th.
Oh, this June 8th.
Yes.
Like
So
We have
that's
a-
early, isn't
It
it?
is- it is
it's the
early.
week before.
It's the week before.
Yeah, week before.
We have a sports analyst from WFAA, I believe, who's going to come hang out with us too. So
no.
Very cool.
It'll be pretty cool.
With the wine and whiskey, what about if to get people over to the York side? What about a car show?
We love a car show at Wine and Whiskey Walk, and in the past, Tom Wheeling has brought a lot of cars and just kind of lined the streets. Yeah. And so we've approached a few different car clubs to be able to do that because that's a tremendous idea.
Yeah, I mean, I could just see them over there on the York side or that northwest quadrant parked around there, and people walking down those shops and stuff and getting across the street because that's something I'd walk across. Mm-hmm. It's hard to leave wine and whiskey, so I mean. It's got to be a nice draw.
Right.
It does.
And pickleball in 100 degrees did not draw me last year.
That was not. No one put their whiskey down to walk across the street, which is what has to happen.
Yeah. Well, you don't control the weather, right?
No. And it ended up being. I mean, it ended up being beautiful later in the day.
Yeah.
And actually, I say that wrong. It wasn't that hot that day. It was actually really nice. Yeah. I remember that.
The year before was
hot. Really cool. That was the one.
But yeah, that's a great idea. I think we'll do it.
Awesome. Look.
You wanna put that together for us?
I will sit on a committee.
Okay.
If you need me to.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, we're a little south of D-Wink territory.
We're all inclusive when it comes to volunteers and events.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when do you think you'll get up to
Fuzzies and peer funding?
Yeah.
That's up to the city. However they want to zone that.
What is the border of the central, what they call the central business?
Coming this way, it's just past the churches.
So that is the deal. Oh, okay.
Like Gibson's is not in the central business district.
Oh, really? Okay. So
Lee Street.
Just a couple blocks.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got you. Okay.
The old gas station on one side and that white house on the other. I don't even know what they do with that, but what do they do with that?
They have church there on Sundays and
do they really? That little
meetings.
white? Oh.
Yeah, they bought that, right? Yeah. Like last year? 2 years ago?
What church? The Methodist church bought it, or a different?
No, a different church. River. It has the word river in it.
Okay.
I should know this. If you hadn't have asked me, I could have told you.
I will expect a text message later.
Deborah Camps. Deborah Camp is the minister there. Yeah.
What's the deal behind it? The house that they remodeled with the.
Oh, that is a meeting space.
Okay.
But it is a very cool meeting space.
It's a cool looking house.
It's on the historic tour of homes at Christmas too.
Oh wow.
It is very, very cool.
That's probably Lynn. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, they redid it a few years ago, and I mean, put brick down all around the. It's really pretty.
Yeah,
they did a great job.
Huh.
Jesus, what about all the land southeast that's behind the churches? Is that all owned by the churches?
It is. The majority of that has been cleared. Buildings used to be there.
Was it homes that used to be there, and they just bought it and cleared them?
One of them was a doctor's office many, many years ago, and then two of them were just older homes, and they used that for Weatherford Christian School, the lower school. After they moved out to Ranger Highway.
Yeah.
Okay.
And park settings and different
things and stuff.
They're playing volleyball and having picnic tables right now.
So
gotta have fun. You gotta play volleyball. Summertime's coming.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I mean, I get out there.
We just started summer league basketball, so that's a thing.
Ooh, yeah, and you're coaching, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Weatherford.
What age?
Varsity girls.
Oh, so you're okay. So you're the varsity of what? Oh,
we didn't know
I
this.
didn't realize that.
Oh yeah. Last year was my first year for that.
Tell me about that. What'd you guys do? What was it like?
We did really well. We missed playoffs by like a total of 6 points, which is
wow.
But it was really exciting. It was a lot of very early mornings, of course.
Yeah.
And late nights, but it was really, really cool. It was really great.
That gym's cool over there. They did a good job.
It is fabulous.
Yeah, we get a bunch of friends that have kids that go there, so we get to go participate and watch, and they do a great job over there.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. What about food? Let's talk food. So we've got our, standards, right? You got Sheps is in your deal. Fire Oak, obviously one of our favorites. Zeno's. You got Cantina. Salt.
Yesterday's.
Tons of options.
Whistle Hill. The dessert place.
Sweet Amelia's.
The
Back Home Bakery. Yeah.
Can't forget them.
Oh, no joke. Amazing. Northside Remedy and Edgewise.
And Edgewise 8.
Edgewise. Yeah. That's a bunch.
And Firefly.
It's a good. And Firefly, which is in.
Inside Edgewise.
So talking to the other, like John and Candace and them, they're always like they're pro other restaurant. Like they're you always see, John's always in, he's always at Rio last night. And, what do you think is on the horizon for anything new coming in? Is that
So we helped with a new restaurant incentive policy.
okay?
The city ended up writing and approving. City council approved it fairly recently.
Yeah.
And so that's been definitely a work in progress and very active. It is difficult to open a restaurant right now with the cost of all the things.
Everything.
And so that restaurant incentive policy does help that process a little bit, but it is still a bit tricky. So there have been there have been quite a few people who have been interested in it and who are working through the process and we'll see what happens. There's definitely
no
one
insider, information.
it would be all of the people that are considering it and the groups that are considering a couple of different locations would fill a void that we have in downtown. I can say that. It's nothing that we have.
Okay.
So that would be exciting.
Yeah.
You know, the Hayhurst brothers moved in on North Main, and in another community fairly close, they have like a cool smoothie thing. And so we've been like, you gonna send smoothies through the bank chute?
I didn't
we
know they
thought
did.
about making a Yeti cooler that could send that through. I'm like, hey.
That's a good idea.
That'd be pretty cool. So the Hayhurst office has smoothies in it?
No, it does not.
Oh,
We've been trying to talk them into it. They have other ventures in other towns that
ventures. Okay, I see. Yeah, we were just talking about their signage. Their signage is so good,
so cool.
Especially for what they're trying to do. That mid-century modern house. The signage looks like a throwback.
It's
their
it's so
branding's
good.
spot on.
They've done a
They're
good
doing
job.
a really good job. We've met with them a couple times and got to meet those guys, and they're super creative. I wish I had half of their creativity.
Even what they've done with their little space, you could stop in and see it. It's really coming together. You never know what it used to be.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well,
you will because of the Taylor farms that go out.
Yeah, except that.
As long as they keep that open so I can drive through there after going through Matt's office. That's all I need.
What's going on with is there any plan, the building just north of them? Is that building's been bought and sold a couple times, I think. And is there any developments right now with that?
So Tom Moncrief owns the majority of that property on that side, and I'll just say it's kind of flagged for like phase 2 sort of development.
Got it. So it's a couple years off, anyways. Got it.
It'd be a big project, hopefully.
So in the Hayhurst, is that more temporary? Because I've heard bigger plans for that square than just one office space. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. And they have big plans too. So.
Yeah.
Are you all kind of like almost acting like an extension of the chamber when folks call? Do people is the general public calling you and asking questions, or is this mostly?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's that look like? What kind of?
Yeah.
So we've started kind of promoting like this weekend in downtown, all the different things that are going on. If shops have different sales and so forth, we share those on our stories. We have a massive event calendar on our website that all of the merchants, if they're having their own events, they can promo on there. So we kind of just promote downtown to the general public. We have a few pieces of real estate that are listed with realtors, and so we do get a lot of kind of central point of contact. Is there anything we could know or don't know, or is there anything for sale? Can we lease? And so we either kind of have them in the office and get a general idea of what it is they're looking to do and what situation might pair well for them, or we just contact the realtors directly and put them in contact with the properties that they're speaking of.
Is there a lot for sale right now?
No. I mean, everything's for sale, but nothing's for sale.
Right. Yeah. We went through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was an interesting kind of exercise, trying to find something when we were looking to move. We ended up in here, and this is a great spot, but we were really wanting to be on the square. Obviously, everybody wants to be on the square, but is there more plans for that type of kind of signage around the square to do more of that kind of stuff?
Retro.
With the retro signage.
Yeah.
So the only way that one was approved was it was restored to its original intent and its original state.
Because the city says no neon.
Correct.
Ah.
Correct. Yeah.
So is that neon?
It is. Well,
is
I mean,
Kind of.
yes. Consider.
Well, whatever.
It's not specifically like
Yeah.
LED. It's LED
created.
neon.
Yeah.
It
It
was
has
created.
gas going through there and all of it. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So tell the story on that, because there is a
Yeah.
backstory to
Yeah.
that. Like to get that sign retro, like they had to go through all kinds of hoops to get that thing done.
The only way that they could get the exact pieces of glass or the gas that came through it or whatever was like it came from another country.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so immediately after we took down the sign, it was restored, that piece and part, and then
Yeah.
it came to the hand blown glass and all of those pieces and parts, and then the gas that had to go through it had to come, like I said, from a country that war had just broken out. And so
Yeah.
Of course.
our little 90-day project turned into a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it ended up being great, and
Yeah,
we were
it's
able
cool.
to get it in right past Christmas and kick off the new year with it.
Right.
But yeah, it should have been like, I think the time frame was, we really wanted it before Wine and Whiskey Walk,
Right.
June to October, and
Oh,
it
wow.
ended up being like June to December.
That
We've
thing-
learned a lot of patience.
Yeah. It's.
Almost like government work.
Yes,
Yeah.
similar.
Mhm.
It turned out to be very, very cool, and it is totally restored to its original.
Yeah. How much interaction? I know Paul's obviously Pascal the mayor, right? What's the relationship, partnership there? How is he pretty? I feel like he would be hands on, but I mean,
We check in periodically, I
Yep.
guess would be the best way to say that. He's always available if we need anything.
Yeah.
He is very, very supportive. And yeah, we just kind of check in and go,
Yeah.
anything coming down the pipe that we should know about or anything
Yep.
we can help you with. And he's tremendous about saying anything you need me to work on. He
Yep.
really is super supportive, and that's very, very appreciative.
yeah, he's doing a ton for economic development
He is.
Oh, yeah.
in this
Absolutely.
area. Like, we got to talk to him a couple times, and there's a lot
There's a lot in the works.
a lot going on. Like between all the growth and the infrastructure stuff, that's obviously I-20 is a huge
Absolutely.
undertaking, and at the county level even so it's
I keep talking about trying to get these light poles underground
That there are a lot of people
that talk
that would
about
love
that.
that.
Yeah.
That would be a huge major project, and
It's a
TxDOT would have to
huge project.
cooperate, but that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of folks that really would
Neat.
benefit from
Well,
that.
you do, and it just cramps that. Even just having those off would make that road seem wider.
yeah
But he did talk to me about the logistics. He was like, "What can I do?" And I was like, "Those light poles underground." He was like, "Well," because they did it all around downtown.
Yeah.
So they've already done it there,
Yeah.
but then there wasn't the funds to go down because the original plan was to already have it underground.
oh really okay.
Yeah, years ago, and it couldn't happen because of logistics and
Right.
a bunch of stuff. But
So just to kind of explain a little bit piece and part. So Downtown Weatherford Inc. is a 501c3.
right,
So we function through initiatives,
Yeah.
and then we partner with the city on a lot of projects.
Okay.
So they are tremendously helpful.
Yeah.
And we just are kind of an extension of the communication piece for them. They've done truly the city staff has all the right people in the right spots, and
Yeah.
they have a really, really great team
Okay.
that
Well,
they're working with.
and anyone that you really, I could see how y'all's group could really help any kind of development because you already know all the things that you need to. So anyone that's coming in that will listen to you
Sure.
is going to be able to get all that stuff in to the city in time so that
Right.
they don't hit those pushbacks and they don't hit those, I hate the city and they won't let me do this with my building. And because you get that a lot. You hear that
a lot.
from people in the community. I wanted to build this and they wouldn't let me. And it's like, well, did you really go about it the right way?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, they have standards. I don't want just a
Yeah.
CBD store on every corner. I mean, they're needed, I'm sure, but
Yeah.
but so
Yeah.
they do, and knowing the regulations and everything else, I could see just how that would take so much off their plate
Yes.
to be able to just go in there and say, hey, this is what we're doing. How do we do it?
Yeah. We kind of act like a filtration
Yeah.
and answer as many questions as possible, and then put them directly in contact with the
Yeah.
right folks instead of just I called 14 times and
Yeah.
No one ever
no one
talked
ever
to.
talked to me. Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess we talked about it earlier, the meeting. So, is there a cadence that you have? Is that a monthly deal that you do?
We do. We
Okay.
meet on the third Tuesday of every month.
Okay. So that's the cadence. And so that, I mean, you can get, there was 25,
Oh yeah,
30
35
people. And
So all merchant owners and property owners are welcome,
okay.
and we communicate the meeting and the details through email and text message to all of those folks.
Right.
And so anybody who has property in that central business district that is commercial property, let me say commercial property, and
Right.
their business is in that central business
Yeah.
district, then they're absolutely welcome to join us.
Yeah.
Business and bites.
Business invites. So that is interesting. So you kind of alluded to the separation of commercial and residential. What about residential in this central business district?
What we would love to do sometime in the future is have kind of like a resident advocacy program or ambassadors. They do volunteer a lot on several of the different committees that we have, and they're tremendously helpful.
Yep.
Those merchant meetings are more focused straight towards the business piece.
Yep. Got it. What else? What have we missed? We talked about the events.
Wine and
Events are
Bliss.
always fun.
Goodies.
Sunset on the Square. What's
We will have a huge fall and winter. We've already began working on that.
Okay.
We will probably release the details for that on June 1st.
okay?
A new event that will happen
Yeah.
after Wine and Whiskey Walk and
Yeah.
before Christmas.
Okay.
And then I'll give you
Any
first,
tidbits?
Yeah, I'll give you a little tidbit. It'll be real artsy
Okay. Ah.
and a whole lot Western.
Okay.
Very cool.
We have some great partnerships that we're working on for a really big event at the beginning of November.
Oh, very cool.
And then right after Thanksgiving, you first here, okay? You ready
Okay.
for this?
Yep.
Yuletide on York. Everything will be happening. There will be all sorts of things every single weekend on York Avenue in downtown between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Christmas, driving that business for those owners down there. That's awesome.
That's really smart.
Yuletide on York.
I like that.
Yuletide on York. It's got a good ring to it.
It does.
Heck yeah.
Alliteration. It always makes it easier to remember.
Yeah.
Try to forget that now, right?
Yeah. No,
I won't.
give me a week.
Well,
There is almost something going on every single weekend between October and December. So really encompassing that fall.
Good deal. That's awesome. We appreciate what you do for the area. We're blessed to be in Parker County, in Weatherford in general. Like the opportunity, combined with juggling the growth, right?
Absolutely.
And trying to, and Paul, when we talked to Paul, he talked about, preserving that Western heritage with growth and not, diluting that out, which is huge, and so obviously the rodeo's coming up,
Right.
so that's a huge part of our area, right? Like, and so, and then the mural, and
that mural
I think
is
holy smokes. Was that a city deal?
The city did that, yeah.
Holy smokes.
well, they've done that one and the peach one too.
Peach
the
Festival.
peach
Chamber
one,
did the peach festival, yeah.
that
Yeah.
peach festival one's really cool.
Was it the same
Yes,
lady that did?
Same lady, yeah.
Holy
Jeez.
smokes, she's
So stay tuned for
more murals,
more art,
more art.
More art.
permanent dish
It's gonna
art.
be permanent,
Okay.
not just the artsy
Maybe
festival.
We'll just have to
the
see.
Western Louvre.
Yeah, there's
West-
definitely gonna be some Western stuff.
Nice.
That's
It is
awesome.
cool because everyone says, "How do you maintain?" Like when I first came here, it felt like Hallmark movie. We hear that all the time.
Yeah.
And so it's such a delicate balance between like keeping Hallmark and
Right.
letting everyone do everything they want.
I've never seen a Hallmark that has as much heat as Weatherford, so I don't. That's just a lie right off the bat. I mean, let's be.
Yeah.
There was that one year with snow.
That
We-
one year we
yeah.
had the Hallmark snow.
Don't do that.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Yeah. So Peach Festival's 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out.
July 13th.
Oh, so more than that. So we're still 6 weeks out. So you got time to get ready. So talk about what you're doing for the business owners, and like you told me a couple of those stories, like what you do to support them during Peach, because Peach Festival is what, 40,000 more?
40 to 60,000 is the typical.
It is unbelievable, and it doesn't matter if it's 110 degrees
Very true.
or 60. they're there.
If it's
Yes.
110, they're all
All
there,
there.
in the
They're all
morning.
there.
In
Yes.
the morning, and then if it's
Yeah.
at 80,
Yeah.
they stay all day.
Yep.
And so it's been tremendous. We provide support for the
Okay.
merchants. So if you were to think about having a huge, massive event and being completely landlocked, probably can't get to your car. If you could, it would take a very long time to get there.
Yeah.
If you had to go, like yesterday's needed tomatoes, for example, we just helped them, with golf carts and met the people at the gate and shuttled the tomatoes. Another business ran out of salsa very early in the morning for breakfast tacos or breakfast burritos, and so they were like, "We've totally ran out of salsa," and it's first thing in the morning. So I went to a vendor and I was like, "How about peach salsa? Will that work on your eggs? Like, is that gross or is that okay?" Anyway, there had a few different options, so I grabbed some salsa and took it
See
to
the
them
theme there.
That's so
and
cool.
just
Yeah.
tried to help them out. Things just kind of like that, like
Yeah.
911.
Yeah. What can we do?
What can we do? Yeah,
Yeah.
how can we help?
Absolutely.
So they didn't hit their airplane mode, it sounds like.
I don't think I did.
I don't think you did either. We'll see if that one cuts off. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, good. We'll wrap up and
Yeah.
okay. So what would you, I guess, as far as how do folks get a hold of you? Obviously, you get the website and social media, but how do we get a hold of you if they need help? What's the kind of the protocol?
Sure. We collect all of those types of information and questions and all the things through info
Yeah.
at d-winc
D.
dwink.org.
.org.
Throw another wrinkle in there.
Yeah, dwink.org.
D-
And we will
dash.
also put some information on this so people we'll get all the links and emails and all that contact stuff. So we appreciate you coming in.
Thanks so much.
It's
Yeah.
awesome to
Thank
get.
you.
We always like to try to nudge for the dirt that's coming. Not dirt, but the good stuff.
The good stuff that's
Yeah.
It's
coming.
good. Absolutely.
Yeah, get the
Appreciate
scoop.
it. Thanks so
So,
much.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We'll see y'all. Thank
Bye.
you.